We call this a capitulation. Cancel all orders. Even Kramer doesn't know what to think. They're going to probably halt trading. We told you that we didn't want to see you get hooked, and you may be hooked. Look at that. Look at it.
Good evening, traders, and welcome to Stock Traders Talk Radio. As we wrap up the week here on a beautiful Thursday night, March the 8th, 2012. I'm your host, STT. Joining me on tonight's program, I have QT Cal.
Hey there, STT. How's it going?
I am doing very well. How about yourself?
Beautiful.
That's good to hear. Also joining me on the program tonight, Stock Sumo.
Hey, good evening, everyone. How you doing?
I am fantastic, sir. How about yourself?
I'm doing good.
That's good to hear. Getting a little tired doing a morning and evening show there, Sumo?
Oh, boy, I tell you what, these are long days, but it's all good, you know.
All righty. Also joining us on the program tonight, we have Sifakia.
Aloha, FTT. The mute button wasn't working there for a second.
There we go. The old mute button issue.
Yep.
Gotta love the mute button issue. All right. Hopefully later in the show, Mr. Cott will be joining us. We'll have to just hope and wait. We'll see what happens with him as he is traveling again tonight. So tonight we have another stock spotlight for you. And doing tonight's stock spotlight, we have QT Cal. QT, take it away, dear.
Thank you, STT. Before I get started on the stock spotlight, I just want to congratulate you guys on a great morning show. I've been listening every morning, and you know what? Sumo, Siffy, Haas, you guys are really rocking it in the mornings, and I'm sure people are enjoying the up-to-the-minute information that they're getting, so bravo to you. All right, we're going to get into the stock spotlight right now, and we are featuring NTRO Petroleum Inc., ticker symbol NTRO. That's N as in Nancy, T as in Tom, R as in Robert, O as in Orbit. They are currently trading on the OTC Pink market. Website is www.nitropetroleuminc.com. Little overview of the company. We have NTRO Petroleum Incorporated. They are an independent energy company. They are engaged in the acquisition, exploration, and development of both oil and natural gas properties in the United States and Canada. The company's objective is to seek out and develop opportunities in the oil and natural gas sectors, and they want to represent those things that are low-risk opportunity. NTRO also has a focus on larger projects. They want to be able to develop larger projects with JV partners. So they're also keeping that in sight as well. Some of the things that I'd like to cover are the management group right now of NTRO Petroleum. First of all, we have the president and CFO. His name is James Borum. James Borum has a most impressive 40-year history in the administration sectors of the petroleum industry. His arena of experience includes petroleum valuations and development, financing, budgeting, marketing, materials procurement, and risk management. A summary of his employment includes some senior management positions with some big hitters. We have Sun Oil, Eastern Pipeline, Andover Oil Company, Vintage Petroleum, Latex Resources, Double Eagle Petroleum, and Comanche Energy. He is at present the president of two private oil and gas service and production companies in Oklahoma. The vast background that he has is in oil and gas administration and finance, and will instill a substantial asset to the management structure at NTRO Petroleum. We also have two others that are included. We have Larry Weiss. Larry Weiss was appointed as president and treasurer and appointed to the board of directors as of February 21st, 2007. Mr. Weiss resigned his positions as president and treasurer effective October 1st, 2009, but he remains on the board of directors for the company, for Nitro Petroleum. Mr. Weiss has been involved in the oil and gas industry for over 30 years, so he has quite the history in oil and gas. Larry started as a junior field engineer with Phillips 66 Petroleum back in 1977. In 79, Larry became the completion superintendent for Jerry Scott Company, overseeing 14 drilling rigs and over 300 producing properties up to the early 1980s. During the 80s and 90s, Mr. Weiss was the president and chief operating officer for JOMC Oil Company, Texas United Petroleum, and Pottawatomie County Energy. Over the past 7 years, Larry has operated Weiss Oil and Gas Company, LLC. He's also served as an independent engineering consultant responsible for all operations of Morris E. Stewart Oil Company, OKC, OK Curie Oil Company, and HOCO Inc. Oil Company in Wichita Falls, Texas, and also Buccaneer Energy Corporation in Tampa Bay, Florida. So he is the second member listed under management for Nitro Petroleum. We don't want to forget our third. His name is Gunther Weisbrick. And Gunther was appointed to the board of directors effective May 19th in 2008. Mr. Weisbrick began his oil and gas career as a production geologist with Exxon Company, USA in Louisiana. Then as a frontier exploration geologist with Tenneco. That was in Houston. Senior explorationist with North Central Oil Company, also in Houston. And finally as a senior exploration geologist with Hunt Oil Company in Dallas, Texas. He was working both internationally in Yemen and South America and domestically in West Texas, the Texas Gulf Coast, East Texas Basin, and Mid-Continent and Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida. Over the years, Mr. Weisbrick generated and participated in the discovery of many oil gas fields. He additionally received the Best Poster Award at the 1994 Mexico City Joint AAPG-AMPG Research Conference. So there you have the stellar management of Nitro Petroleum. Now I want to go ahead and have people or draw people to the intro message box on iHub. They've done a very good job here. I want to give a shout out to the mods here: Balamitas, ProLife, Stock Trader, DK, Black Ops Stocks, The Pro, and Wealthy King. And I also want to give a particular shout out to Wealthy King. He is involved in every aspect of information with this company. He's got a lot of good information to us tonight, so I want to give him a shout out and a big, huge thank you for the information. Okay, so moving along. If we go to the website, nitropetroleuminc.com, we can see that there are several projects in which this company is involved in, as well as it is reflected in our iBox here for Nitro Petroleum on the iHub board. One of the things that I want to look at, get an overall a view for Nitro, is that they have increased consistently their cash flow year over year for more than 2 years while decreasing cost and revenue and debt. So that's important to any shareholder. The company has commenced restoring production on a few properties. There's the Quinlan properties, and also there is the Crown wells, and those are both concentrated in Oklahoma. Nitro Petroleum successfully completed some of the phases in the Quinlan project by replacing the downhole equipment, and in the Quinlan number 2 well, from conventional pump to submersible lift. There's some things going on which will help benefit the projects on the Quinlan wells as well as the Crown wells. One of the things that I want to take a look at is there's a nice picture of America's next energy frontier. It shows the shale formations in the U.S. that hold trillions of barrels of oil and trillions of cubic feet of natural gas. So since petroleum is concentrated in oil and natural gas, we can see the map of the United States and where they would be concentrating their efforts on. Two things in particular right now. Well, let's go ahead and look at some of the oil wells that they are interested in. They have the Ward McNeil number 1 oil well. This is located in Garvin County, Oklahoma. Okay, and it gives you the area in which it's located in Garvin County. And that well was initially completed in the basal Pennsylvania sandstone violet limestone formations after a minor fracture treatment, and it was giving a modest 189 barrels of oil. What was interesting about this is that there was a market update on March 14th that talked about the well report for the McNeil number 1 well. It is now currently averaging, and this was again posted March 14th, it's averaging 12 to 14 barrels of oil per day and 40 to 45 MCF per day, cubic feet. The well is still flowing back from the frac job with 2,500 barrels of frac water recovered from the 4,000 barrel initial frac load at a flow back rate of 60 barrels of salt water and frac fluid and flowing oil up the backside. So they're recovering the frac fluid and salt water, and this well should continue to keep increasing in oil and gas as they continue to pump the well. So that's really good news, a really good update that is included on the March 14th market wire. Then we go into the Quinlan wells. Now, I just want to make mention that the company did have a 10K, I believe. Let me just double check here. Yes, their 10K, which was put out there in mid-August, early September. And so this particular 10K talked about them getting involved with the Quinlan wells and the Crown wells in much detail. They negotiated purchase agreements for both of these areas of wells for the sell, transfer, and assign and convey and deliver all rights, title, and interest in said leases to NTRO. So they did a share exchange there for ownership interest. Now, I want to point this out because in the 10K it specifically talks about the wells and their interest before acquisition and after acquisition. So you have the Crown wells. These are 1, 2, and 3, in which before the acquisition they only had 15% ownership interest. After this acquisition, they had almost 89% interest. Then you get into the Quinlan wells, which is 1, 2, 3, and 4. Quinlan well 1, they had a 12.25% interest before acquisition, and after they had a 62% interest. Quinlan 2 well number 2, they had a 29.44% acquisition interest or interest before acquisition, and then after almost at 100%, a little bit over 99.5% interest or acquisition. Quinlan wells 3 and 4, they were at 15% before the acquisition, and they got to right around 85%. So you could see this deal really did up the interest and as far as ownership. So we've got that going on there, and that's very important to understand because this is where most of the development is happening. It's happening in these Quinlan wells, and we'll talk about this when we talk about the recent press release. So with this information, we can see, and again, all shareholders or potential shareholders should really refer to the 10K, and this is talking about all of the information that they would provide year-to-date for 2011. This came out right around August and September of 2011. So you could make a referral back to that. Okay, so with the Quinlan wells. Quinlan wells and Crown wells are located in Pottawatomie County, Oklahoma. The first well, they give the information of where specifically it's located. says it's been a steady producer with a total accumulation as of 6/1/09 of 12,530 barrels of oil, with a per month average in excess of 200 barrels of oil. NITRO recently completed rework on the Quinlan number 1, which is now producing 24 barrels of oil per day. Quinlan number 2 oil well. It's also, again, located in Pottawatomie County, Oklahoma. That well located, it gives the specific location of that well. The Quinlan number 2 well is completed in the Viola Limestone Formation, which is the northeast Shawnee Field adjacent similar Viola completions. The field is also known for its lucrative Hunton limestone production. So NITRO is currently reworking and test flowing that well, and that is well number 2. NITRO will be updating shareholders on the progress. Again, I'm just going right from the iBox so that we can see each well of the Quinlan set. That's well number 1, 2, and 3 that we're going to focus on. Quinlan number 3 oil well gives the specific location. It's adjacent well to the Quinlan number 1s and 2, which NITRO Petroleum owns, again, like we said, and you can see these numbers reflected in the 10K. It owns 85% interest. And it says that that project will be reworked in 2012. Now, Quinlan oil well number 4 is now used for wastewater, I believe. And let me just specifically talk about that. It was converted into a saltwater disposal well. So the 3 wells are being used for oil production, and the 4th well is being used as a saltwater disposal well. Okay. All right. With that, I want to kick over to a recent press release to talk about that particular set of wells, which is the Quinlan 1 through 3. Okay. So we see that on February 29th, the press release came out for NITRO, and it was talking about the finalization or the recompletion and testing of the Quinlan wells 1, 2, and 3. And they were very excited about the results. It says that Quinlan number 1 well was currently producing approximately 7 to 8 barrels of oil per day, but after they removed the packer and then re-squeezed the casing leak, so it looks like they had to do some tweaking to that particular well system, that they were confident that that well should produce 15 to 20 barrels per day. So you see almost, it jumping double to where it was prior to the fixings and things that they had to do to rework that. The Quinlan well number 2 was currently producing 18 to 20 barrels per day. Then it says that the Quinlan number 3 was currently being rod pumped at 3 to 5 barrels per day below a packer. But they determined that the base to the testing results and submersible lift pump will be required due to the high volume of fluid. So that number 3 well was tested at a rate of approximately 1,500 barrels of fluid with a 2 to 3% oil cut, which calculates to be 30 to 45 barrels per day. The company believes that that project will increase the cash flow approximately $78,000 per month. So that's a very nice figure. Okay, they're also, one of the other things that I believe that all shareholders or potential shareholders are looking at was within that press release, they talked about year-end financials to include up to January 31st, 2011. They are expecting these financials to come out on or before March 14th. Okay, so, we're looking at the date today as being, March 8th? So we're looking at less than a week away from them having those financials posted. With that, so I just want to recap on that PR. It says that the current production levels for Quinlan well number 1 was 7 to 8 barrels per day of oil. Quinlan 2 was 18 to 20 barrels per day, and then Quinlan 3 was 3 to 5, which gives the total current production for the Quinlan project of about 28 to 33 barrels of oil per day. That was a revenue, you can look at that at revenues of $91,000 to $105,000 per month, okay? But, however, let's take a look at the repairs that are being done. Quinlan number 1 is being repaired, and once finished, is estimated to then produce 15 to 20 barrels of oil per day. Quinlan 3 is also getting that submersible lift pump, and is estimated to produce 30 to 45 barrels of oil per day. So if you take a look at what's being reworked and what's happening right now, their future estimated production from the Quinlan project could be anywhere from 63 to 85 barrels of oil per day. That future total of those barrels per day on an average estimate could yield $205,000 to $276,000 of revenue per month. Now that is pretty impressive when you look at what they were looking at as far as revenues per month without these tweaks and the things that they're working on. We went from $78,000 per month to now an estimated projection of $205,000 to $276,000 per month. That is something that shareholders could get excited about, because once these things are worked out on these two particular wells, that's what you're looking at. Okay, moving on. I want to talk a little bit about some of the stuff from that 10K that came out back in August. Okay, so if you look at some of the stuff that they've projected, let's see here. Their expansion, okay, as far as their operations and that they made good on acquisitions that have advanced the business plan. They talked about that in the 10K. I want to talk about the fact that just putting that 10K out in August and September, gives them a bit of transparency with shareholders and future shareholders. Their transfer agent is Pacific Stock Transfer, and they are not gagged, so that they're able to talk about the share structure info. And I don't believe that I did talk about their share structure, which I want to mention right now. They have an authorized share structure of 2 billion shares. They have an outstanding share count of 207,424,156. Their float right now is currently estimated at 131,466,223. And they also have restricted shares out to the tune of 75,975,933. So again, their TA is ungagged. Their transfer agent is willing to talk about share structure for any potential shareholders or shareholders that inquire about that information. So we have that currently, and I believe that was as recent as the last few weeks, that share structure. Okay. All right. So they have transparency. They also have made 4 to 5 years worth of growth in about 2.5 years, so that's quite impressive. The following are proved developed in 2011 and also undeveloped reserves. So for 2011, we have oil reserves that are up to 79,766 barrels over, just from 2010, 16,250 barrels. Okay, that's an increase of 490%. So, that's a pretty good jump there from just within 1 year. 2011 gas reserves are up to 89,098 MCF over 28,959 from 2010. This represents an increase of 307%. So with the 79,766 barrels, that could equal 8 million future cash flow at 105 per barrel. So this represents an increase of 530% over 2010. That's quite impressive. And again, you can get this information and take a look at the 10K. They're evolving as far as their transparency. This stuff is all good, and it's right there for every shareholder to see. One of the things that is interesting and that we can look at is that the Crown wells, and again, remember, we talked about the information that was provided in the 10K before acquisition as far as their ownership interest, and then after acquisition, those Crown wells, 1, 2, and 3, now they own an ownership interest of almost close to 89%, which before acquisition was about 15%. So it looks like they'll be reworking the Crown wells 1 and 2 in the near future. And again, this information, you can take that from the 10K. They had a cash balance of $40,501 as of January 31st. compared to the cash balance of $2,502 as of January 31st, 2010, so the previous year. We had a working capital deficiency of $246,973 as of January 31st, 2011, but compared to working capital deficiency of $522,607 from the previous year, ending January 31st, 2010. So this represents an increase in cash of 1,500%, and then it also represents a decrease of capital deficiency of about a negative 52%. So you can see that they're making significant progress here with their projects and the way that they're carrying the business forward from the recent events that have been talked about. One other thing that I want to touch upon, we were in contact with the CEO, Jim Borum, and this, again, is information that was given to us, that he said the following, that NTRO maintains their plans to release financials on or before March 14th. So they are looking to honor that date, in which was given in the current PR of February 29th, I believe, that most recent one. They said that NTRO plans to have the Quinlan well repairs completed in approximately 10 days and have production up to levels mentioned in their last press release. Regarding the business plan for the year, NTRO is always looking for new acquisitions. And again, you even saw in the company overview that we went over that they're looking for also joint venture partners in larger projects. They also have plans to drill and rework 2 additional wells on existing acreage. Now, will it be the Crown wells? We don't know. We'll have to see. But Mr. Borum was very kind in talking, or at least disclosing that information to us for tonight to present to current shareholders and all of our listeners. With that, I pretty much have all of the information for NTRO that I wanted to cover this evening in the Stock Spotlight. Now, if we can kick it over to Siffy or Simo for the chart.
Yeah, I got the chart here tonight, Cutie Cal. That was some good stuff you got there. You're rocking it.
Thanks.
Yeah, you definitely got your flow going. As for this chart, I'm going to go ahead, and I was looking at it while you've been talking about it, and I went ahead and pulled up a daily, and I pulled it out 4 years because I think it's kind of interesting when you look at a stock like this, and it actually has got a tape that you can look at. And the first thing that catches my eye is on the tape is if you put a line on that 45 going all the way back to February 2008, where really, I mean, I didn't pull it back any farther, but 45 cents, 2008, that's a long time ago. And then you drop that line and you let it rest back on February 2011. That's kind of giving you your long-term, your 2 long swing tops over that trend. And you see that line actually is going to land below your current price per share, so one could make the argument that this thing is already broken out. And that breakout kind of occurred around January 23rd to the 27th, 2012, when you had your 20 cross up through your 50 MA. Sumo talked about that. And then you also had your 20 and your 50 cross up through your 150 smoother. And now your 20 is through your 200, and your 50 is right behind it. So a lot of bullish stuff going on. I mean, the 20's been below the 50 by itself on the downside, going all the way back to March 2011 after that last swing high where it hit 0.23. So some bullish stuff going on right there. Definitely want to see it get above that 20 MA, because that'll be your, if this thing really gets a good trend going, that's where it's going to run on. And, now at least you got your 50, and you got all those moving averages below you, which is always a good thing. But it definitely looks like there's been a trend reversal. You had that big volume there, I believe, on around February 15th. I'd like to see some more of that because the volume's definitely dropped off. You can kind of see where your bottom came in at based on some of the indicators and oscillators that we use. Your CMF looking solid. It's in the positive. It's above that 50 MA. Your PPO was a great indicator. When it crossed over down on around January 6th, that was a buy signal. It crossed above the 50 MA, and now they're both in the positive, and it's holding above it. I'd like to see that continue. The RSI, it's in the power zone, or at least it's trying to get up there. It's pointing the right direction. It is below that 50 MA that I threw on there, but it's above the 50 line. So that's always good, and you can see on the chart, pretty much on any chart, when it breaks below that 50 or the 50 MA on any of these indicators. It's not a good thing. Moving down to accumulation distribution, one thing that's really cool is you look back at around February 2011, even though the stock price was going down, the accumulation distribution has been going up the whole time. So I love that positive divergence, and it's been trending up along that 50 MA the whole time. So that's always positive. As for my ultimate oscillator, that thing did cross below that 50 MA, but it's holding the 50 line. So that's all right. Just don't want to see it cross below there. As for my slow stow, it's coming off the bottom. It's rocking around 39. You got that 50 MA up around 59. So you got a little bit of a spread there. So I look for that to pull in and also get above just that 50 average. So everything's looking good on it. I like the chart. One good thing about it is, like I said, now you got a point of resistance and support, especially if you look at a longer-term chart on this one. So don't always get caught up in the short term, guys, even though it's a penny stock, because you see what they do when they break a long-term chart. They can really go big time. And same with on the downside. That's why I like the long term.
You killed it. You totally murdered it.
Very nice work, people.
That was very good. Very good.
Awesome.
Hey, QT.
Hey, Cop.
How are
Glad
you?
you're here. Good. How are you?
I just landed in San Francisco, doing a whole bunch of things for you guys, as you can imagine.
Nice.
I missed the part. Did you go into Jim Borum?
Yes.
Because I mean, one thing, I DD'd this company probably, I don't know, maybe like about 2 months ago. But when he took over as the CEO, right, he basically changed everything with that company. Did you see differences between the history from before and then when he got there? I mean, because what I saw was.
Do you have some of that? That would be some good stuff. Yeah.
I mean, I do. I'm sure someplace. I don't right now. But what triggered it for me is when I was DDing it, I noticed there was he started increasing cash flow year over year. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
From the time he took over this company and decreasing the operating expenses. That was the key thing that I saw with that. This is one of those weird companies, and what I mean by that is, the company that does it right, does it by the book, follows all the rules, all that regular stuff, and nobody's interested in it. I mean, you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a DYNS in the fact that they do all kinds of stuff, and this is one of these things where you just keep plugging along. They keep making money, and they keep it'll staircase up. I mean, I would consider this stock more of an investment decision than I would a flipper. That's just,
absolutely.
my perspective.
Absolutely. I get what you're saying, because I'm looking at some of the stuff that they've been doing. They're very diligent in decreasing debt, bringing an increase in revenues. They're really focusing on this, the property that has the Quinlan wells, which, I was looking at some of the stuff in the 10K. It's pretty impressive. I mean, you can look at it. It's almost like you want to follow the vision. There's a vision of looking at this property, where they're going with it. They're making these repairs, different things, and it really looks like it's coming together. So no, I totally.
Well, they're bringing in revenue. That's
absolutely
a different thing. And when you see, I mean, the product isn't the shares.
Exactly,
and that's one of those unique things.
Right.
I'm sorry I missed your beginning part of that. So I don't want to ask you anything that I missed.
Oh, no. That's good stuff, because it looks like Jim is very focused on bringing revenues in. And also, what's really exciting about the fact that what's happening in the next week is financials. They're bringing some stuff to the shareholders by March 14th, and he did state in a statement that we got was the fact that they were bringing them before March 14th, so that's in less than a week. So I'm sure shareholders are quite excited about that information, and to get their hands on that within less than a week is pretty exciting stuff. So we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. The one last question for you. I don't mean to put you on the spot. How many posts did they have on the board today? On the NTRO Investor Hub board. Anybody know? Am I still live?
I can find out for you.
Why
do you ask questions that you don't have answers to? That's what I want to know.
Well, I can look real quick.
17 posts.
All right, so what's that tell you?
Quiet.
Very quiet. Revenue producing company, 17 posts. That's so. I mean, you already understand what the deal is from the perspective of what we're normally used to. I mean, when you get into reads and all those other type of things when it comes to the buzz, and Investors Hub's just one metric, right? I mean, you got Yahoo, all kinds of different forums, chats, and those type of things, and really what it is this CEO needs to get his message out to shareholders and potential investors. Now that comes with a balance, right? You take the balance of some CEOs believe and think in the OTC that you chug along, you do everything you got to do to increase revenues, operate the business, and everything will take care of itself. Well, that's true to a degree, but as we all know, there's not billions and billions of dollars flowing into the OTC to where you have a large amount of people that will rush into an investment. Many people don't even believe there is an investment in the OTC. So what you have is a stock here or a company that is in that very weird area of don't flip me, you're not going to get much of a gain, right? Because of the different range that's actually happening there on this. If I remember the whole trend, I don't have it in front of me. I'm sorry, guys. But because it's very solid, it's a staircase type thing, and you're going to get a little bit, where people clear profits and those type of things. But this is a much, much longer term investment style play when I was looking at it before. And I firmly believe that was he interested in coming on radio?
Yeah, I think it was just a scheduling thing. But he was very, very interested in getting some information out, he was adamant about the fact that they would have their financials released before March 14th. And that also that the repairs that they're working on in regards to the Quinlan wells, that it would take approximately 10 days and that they would have production up to the levels mentioned in the last PR, which I think doubled mostly the production of barrels of oil per day. So that was actually something that he wanted to make sure that we got out today.
Oh, wow. That's big.
Yeah.
Did he allude to what the financials will say?
No other remarks in regards to financials other than that they would be disclosed prior to or on or no, it does say on or before March 14th. So we have a small window period there that we're working with. So
gotcha.
That's good.
No, nice job. Very nice job. I mean,
Thanks.
Very nice job.
Well, we had a lot of help. I want to say that the mods on that board are on top of it. Wealthy King, he has been great in regards to giving very good information about the company. And I know that several of them follow and are in close contact with the CEO. So, that's always good for shareholders to know that there is a lot of transparency there in regards to what the CEO is putting out, as well as what their, current projections are and things that they're into. So
very nice. Very well done. QT, excellent job.
Thanks, STT.
I know you spend hours and hours every day working on this. So
I do.
Fantastic job once again. All right, don't forget to check out the new STT Radio Morning Show. Those guys are really starting to kick it into gear. 9 a.m. we air in the morning, Monday through Friday, hosted by Stock Sumo, Sifakia, and Haas. And they are doing a fantabulous job. Absolutely outstanding. Listened to it this morning. Was very impressed. All right, let's take a small break here in the radio show. We'll be back with the top 10 buzzing around iHub.
Stock traders, sound the charge and gallop your way over to BlueHorseshoeStocks.com. Nowhere else will you find a simpler, more straightforward penny stock block, bounce plays, momentum alerts, short-term, long-term. It's all here. Get hit to ground floor opportunities before the promotions hit. Blue Horseshoe's track record speaks for itself with percentage gains numbering in the thousands. Sign up for our pre-market mailing list and receive picks before they're published. Welcome to Blue Horseshoe Stocks, where you're afforded the opportunity to observe a team of seasoned traders scrape and scour the market for every sub-penny, penny, and penny plus stock with a chance to blow its top. BlueHorseshoeStocks.com.
And now, a quick word from thepennyvin.com. What does one penny say to the other penny? Let's get together and make some sense. Are you tired of losing your hard-earned pennies? Be sure to visit thepennyvin.com and download our iPhone app, where delivery of our stock plays right into your iPhone instantly. The time to start making money is now. Please be advised that you may make huge sums of money and that thepennyvin.com will not be held liable.
Welcome back to Stock Traders Talk Radio. I'm your host, STT. Joining me on tonight's program, I have QT Cal, Stock Sumo, Synthakia, and joining us late as usual, Mr. Cop. What is your freaking excuse tonight, sir?
Landed in San Francisco on a plane.
Unacceptable.
What?
All the accounting team, let them know. I clocked him in at 27 minutes late.
Hey, all I know is this. You guys hooked me up at the Marriott, and I am digging it. I appreciate that.
Easy.
And the hotel you guys had me in for the last week was in the marina.
Just so you're aware.
So I
Mr.
appreciate everything you do.
Just so you're aware, those last two commercials I just played didn't even pay for the peanuts on the airplane. Not even close. So be careful.
Hey, look, we've gotten a lot done out here. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, one thing about these trips out to the West Coast, numerous companies, let's just say a lot of opportunity and a lot of things happening here in the near future, and a lot of meetings and some amazing things. Period.
Same.
And let's get real. It better be damn important for me to come out here for 11 days and leave the wife and kids. So it must be very good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Very good.
I think what STT is telling you though, Cop, is you may have to go animal cargo on the way back to the East Coast.
Yeah. He wants me to stay to Best Western? I don't think so.
Can we pack
I
in a brown box and put you on UPS?
So the little the drinks in the room, that's probably not a good thing.
No, and I'll put Fragile on the box. Don't worry.
Good stuff.
That'll be nice. Some
Good
popcorn,
stuff.
the popcorn cushioning in there for you to lay on. It'll be good. All right, let's move on with the show and throw it over to Mr. Stock Sumo for the top 10 buzzing on iHub. Sumo, take it, sir.
I'm going to take it from the cheapest stocks to the most expensive ones. At least these are the ones that I saw that were buzzing on the hub. Starting off with AFTC, that's Alternative Fuel Tax, and its daily range was 0008 to 0012. It closed at 0011, up 22% on 22.9 million shares. Next one up is KMAG. We've talked about this one before. That's KMA Global Solutions International. Its daily range was 13 to 0023, traded 109 million shares. Careful there, it's got the caveat MTAR status. Always look out for that. And it closed up 76%. Next one is MHYS, and that one closed up 73% at 0026. Its daily range was 0014 to 0035 on 32.6 million in volume, and they had some news out on the 6th, and Mass Hysteria Slots director Warren P. Sonata for action thriller, The Boiling Point. So that was cool. The next one up, SIRG, up 3.45% at 003. The daily range was 0026 to 0035, and it traded 10 million shares. Next one up is GDSM. We've had this one on the show before as a spotlight, or I remember you guys did a real good job on this one. It was around 001, first highlighting it, had a huge run. Looks like it's had a pullback and it's starting to find some support and make a move again. It's up 13.85% today, and it closed at 0074. The daily range was 006 to 0083 on 29 million shares. OPMG, another one that was up nicely today, up 38.4% on 7.5 million shares. It closed at 0072, and its daily range was 0047 to 0075. Again, that's Options Media Group Holdings, OPM as in Michael, G as in George. BLKL, that's Boy Larry, Kathy Larry. We talked about this one on the morning show. We caught it on pre-market scan. The volume was trading pre-market. It ended up having a big run today. Its daily range was 007 to 012. It closed up 137% at 0095, and it traded 3.7 million shares. This next one, crazy volume, SNPK. It traded almost 160 million shares. You got to follow the money on these plays. It's going to be interesting to see what this thing does going into the weekend. I noticed a ton of emails hitting my inbox on that, so it looks like there's a lot of promotions going out on SNPK, that's Sun Peaks Ventures, Inc. A couple other ones that caught my eye that were up nicely, trading at $3.92 to $4.34, the daily range on SQNM. And they had some news out the past couple days. It closed up 16%. It closed at $4.25 on 10 million shares. And the other one was MVIS, Michael Victory India Sally. And that had a daily range of $2.34 to $3.44. It closed at $3.25, up 39.5%. And they had some news today about they regained their NASDAQ compliance with listing Rule 5450A1. So that's what I got for today. Thanks, guys.
All right. Very nice. A lot going on today. All right. Now, let's take a look at the big boards and what's going on over there with Sifakia.
All right. Yeah, today definitely didn't have any lack of action on the big board side either. We saw it start off a little slow. You know, we had a nice little gap up and took the marked a little while to get it going. You saw those initial jobless claims come in, but the main story today was all about Greece, just like pretty much every day is, and how they're going to avoid the default. And I think right now they're nearly 95% of the bondholders have signed up to participate in this bond swap deal. And we talked about that last night, you know, the chances of them defaulting and yada, yada, yada. And I mean, yeah, right. In the big picture, we're going to have to say that most likely they're still going to default. I mean, unless they're going to do a 100% write down of their debt. So we're kicking the can down the road. Plus, I mean, this is going to let those other pigs get in, you know, Portugal, Ireland, Italy, Spain. So keep your eyes on that. But as for now, it looks like the market's got another tank full of gas ready to go on up. So I'm looking for more action tomorrow. I mean, who knows? Maybe it's finally sell the news. But it's pretty hard to short this market. I mean, look at Apple. We talked about that. They got a nice bounce today. Basically, a couple more firms came out, gave it a price target increase, and I think people just realized that doesn't make much money shorting this thing. It's a good way to get your butt handed to you. After the bell tonight, saw General Mountain Coffee Roasters, that's GMCR, get hit with about a 20% discount. I guess Starbucks is going to start making their single cup coffee makers, and investors didn't like that too much, but I sure did. And I went ahead and jumped on at 48. So bounce, baby, bounce. Check that one out tomorrow morning. And let's see what else we got here, guys. Today was pretty wild across the board. You even had some of the big boys selling off. You saw Mickey D's slump 3%, and it's about time. $96, I think, it's trading out. Mickey D's. Seems like yesterday it was 45. You had ExxonMobil trade down a little bit. You got Verizon with a little bit of a pop. It's back up above 39. Like I keep saying, I love that Verizon, and I just don't see how I can go wrong with it. You had AIG cruise down almost 4% after you had the Treasury Department said it's going to sell $6 billion worth of the insurer stock, and didn't like that much. And what else did you have going on there? You had Coach rallying almost 5%. You had Hot Topic kicking butt. As for earnings tomorrow, here's some that are probably going to be hot. You know how these earnings always come out, and those are 9 times out of 10. Those are the stocks that are either at the top of the barrel or at the bottom of it. And you got Ann Taylor, ANN. You got Arena Pharmacy. That's volatile, ARNA. You got BioScript, BIOS. You got Carnival, CCL. We all know they've been having a lot of issues after their big fire accident. You got China Automotive, CAAS, City Trends, CTRN, Dolan, DM, Ferrilogist Partners, FGP. You got Halozyme Therapeutics, HALO. You got Hibbert Sporting, HIBB. You got KMG Chemicals, KNGB. You got LMI Aerospace, LMIA. You got Novavax, NVAX. And you got Piedmont, PNY. Those are all going to be pre-market. And then you got one, wow, you got one after the close, and that's Prairie Pharmacy, PPHM. Don't see that too often after the close on a Friday, but to each his own. As for today, what led us higher, to nobody's surprise, it was definitely those Euro crisis bank stocks, and we all know who those are, the IRE, the NGB, the AIB, the STD, the BBVA, throw a dart. You had Optical Communications rocking. Some of those members are FNSR, JDSU, OCLR, OPLK, and again, we keep seeing them up there, the home builders, guys, and some of those members are BZH, DHI, HOV, let's see what are some other good ones in there, KBH, LEN, MDC, PHM, RYL. I mean, it's a long list. You know, I'm a big fan of looking at overall sectors and finding the winners and losers, so keep your eye on that. And then to round us out on the best of the groups, you had Bolt Materials, guys. As for the losers, you had those consumer video chips. You had electric cars. You keep seeing them get beat up. You know, get your eyes on Tesla, TSLA. It's a great idea, but we'll see where she goes. But if nothing else, just look for a bottom, and when she finds it, you got a lot of people that run into it. You had your financial REITs down a little bit today, and let's see, you have online travel agencies down a little bit, which is to nobody's surprise. That's Expedian and Priceline, and that's PCLN and EXPE. And then you also had your retail REITs trading down a little bit. So check that out. As for big winners, you had the biggest was Verso Paper Corp, VRS. That was 92% for big boys. And there's that Bonton. We talked about that yesterday. You had Friend Finder, FFN. You had Mueller Water Products, MWA. On the downside, you had Norman Aluminum Holdings, NOR, Sigma Designs, SIGM. Those are double-digit losers. So a lot going on there. As for tomorrow, guys, this is really all you got to focus on, because the market itself has been waiting on this all week long, and this is what is going to set your tone, and that's your 8:30 a.m. employment situation. It's coming pre-market, and we're looking for those non-farm payrolls. The consensus is 204K. The range is 180 to 275. So the bottom of that was, back in July 2009, and we've been going up every month, and it's been looking better and better. So keep your eye on that, a big blowout to that, and we're off to the races. Your unemployment rate level is still looking for an 8.3, but they got a consensus of 8.1 to 8.5. And that's your civilian unemployment rate. And again, you can see that topping out back in October of 2009, and has been coming down ever since. Pull up charts on that. They even got charts on that. I go to Econo Day for that. Or like I said, the NASDAQ, they got a great setting for it. Your average hourly earnings is going to stay right around 0.2%. And, for the change. And your average work week, we can't even get a full 40. We're averaging 34.5. And your private payrolls, this is the one you really want to look at. Consensus is 220, but your range is 195 to 285. Let's see it blow out on that, and let's get a triple-digit rally tomorrow. So that's what I'm looking at, and don't get in Apple's way. Mahalo.
Don't get in Apple's way. You're still liking that one, huh?
Forever.
Forever? How can you like it?
He's
forever?
right, too. They're calling, what are they calling, 650 on it, right?
No. They're wrong. STT called it, beginning of the year, 700.
Forever.
Apple, 700. Google, 1,000.
When are they going to do a split, man?
They can't. They got to get to 700 first. Otherwise, I got to get the calculator out and figure out if I was right or not.
Interesting.
They're going to give the split right after the dividend. How about that?
Probably. But that's like with the new iPad. I saw something at the airport where it said, what did they name it? I guess I guess they didn't name it, and the guy's got a little sign that says Steve Jobs didn't leave that in his notes.
Oh God!
I thought that was funny. Hey, Steve Jobs is the man.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
It's the new iPad. That's the name. The new iPad.
That's the name.
Yep. That's
Good name.
Beautiful. That's good stuff, man.
Siffy's always killing it.
Great job,
Not 100% sure what he talks about all the time, but I try and follow along.
You didn't get all that? He was talking about the pigs in Portugal, Spain. I mean, he was all over it.
Yeah, I heard some references, and what do you have? A gas full of tank?
Gas full of tank. That was
right.
Good stuff.
I heard that. I knew what that meant.
That's
Good
important
stuff.
to have.
At least I know what he was trying to say, you know.
At least you did.
Very nice.
Very well.
Good stuff.
All right. Don't forget to join the morning crew at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Thursday. I'm sorry. Strike that. Let's start that over. Rewind. Erase that from the tape, please. Don't forget to join the morning crew, 9 a.m., Monday through Friday. I'm so used to saying Monday through Thursday. Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. till approximately 10 a.m. They may run longer on some days, depends on how the market's going. Also, join the STT night crew with myself, Cop, and QT Cal. Filling in occasionally will be Stock Sumo and Sifikia. That is Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We hope you enjoyed tonight's Stock Spotlight on NTRO. I want to say it was very well done. I think the only thing that she left out was the color of the underwear the CEO wore today. Amy, very well done.
Did I? Because I could report on that. No, I'm just
you could?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, come on. You just came off that legging.
Look, we want to continue to have Mr. Borum as our friend, so I will refrain from speaking about that any further. Thank you very much.
Nice. All right, and we will try and follow up there and see if we can't get him on the radio program with us. Hopefully, maybe after financials. I think that would be a good time. We'll follow up there. Okay, we'll see you again in approximately 12 hours. From everybody here at STT, to everybody out there in STT Radio Land, we are wishing you the best in all your trades, and may your portfolio always be green. This is STT Radio, and we are out.
Hello.
Thank you for listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio. All views and topics talked about on Stock Traders Talk Radio is solely for entertainment purposes. We are not professional financial advisors and always recommend you seek the advice of a professional financial advisor. Never invest in any stock featured on our show unless you can afford to lose your entire investment. The information contained on our show is based on sources which we believe to be reliable, but is not guaranteed by us as being accurate. and might not be a complete statement or summary of the available data. Stock Traders Talk Radio advises that the investments in companies profiled are commonly considered to be high risk, and use of the information provided is at the investor's sole risk. Thank you for listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio.